In the repair shop today, Brenton's passion for beekeeping is ignited.
I've just raided Will's bench to get some wood shavings. That's smoking really nicely now. It's a lovely smoker.
And a retro chair throws Sonnaz and Dom a curveball.
What I'm struggling with is I can't upholster these slices flat. I'm going to get that puckering of the
It'll
fabric.
start creasing up because gravity is not on your side.
No.
First, Vos van Marken, who's travelled from Leeds. Originally from the Netherlands, he's bringing a piece of history that's not what it seems.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm Vos.
Vos. All right, and what have we got in the box?
What I brought you is a book,
OK.
but it's more than a book.
All right, you're going to have to explain that one.
It's a secret radio.
OK. Mark, do you want to join us? Look at this. It's got a radio in a book. Would you believe it?
Wow.
Mark Stuckey is the man for radios of all sorts.
How fascinating.
So why is there a radio in a book?
Well, it originates from the Second World War, when my grandfather put it in the book. He lived in the Netherlands during the Second World War.
Right.
And the Dutch government was in exile in London, and they were broadcasting Radio Orange from London,
OK.
giving the Dutch resistance people information. And then the Germans, they confiscated all the radios because they didn't want the people to listen to Radio Oranje.
So the German army came and took everybody's radio?
They told people to hand in their radios. If you were found to have a radio, you could be punished even with the death penalty at the time.
Wow.
But not everyone did. Like my grandfather,
Yeah.
who was an engineer, and he decided to put the radio in the book.
OK.
Well, there's a headset with it. And he would plug the headset in and also a mains lead. And then he would listen to the broadcast from London and about the Allied troops and how they were advancing.
OK.
He must have realised the sort of, the repercussions which could have occurred if he got caught.
Oh, yes.
So was this for only personal, or that information, did he pass that through to other friends, etc.?
I don't think he was active in the resistance, but he was connected with people who worked in the resistance. And my grandfather passed on information.
Yes.
Because the radio was the only means of getting reliable information.
What was your grandfather's name?
Anton Lely.
Incredibly brave. Can't imagine constantly looking over your shoulder in fear.
It must have been for them, absolutely, yeah. They were hiding a Jewish boy. It was the son of some colleagues of his.
Wow.
And he lived in the attic behind a false wall. And unfortunately, my grandfather's house was raided. The Germans came and they stormed upstairs and they knew exactly where that boy was. Our guess is that he didn't survive the war. Both my grandparents then ended up in prison, but my grandmother was released after about a month, and my grandfather spent a year in a transition camp.
Okay. And that radio was still in the house,
The
presumably?
radio was never discovered by the Germans.
No.
They took a lot of other stuff out of the house, but never the radio.
Wow.
Have you ever heard this working?
Oh, yes, yeah. I can remember listening to the radio with my grandfather, yeah.
Right.
We would share the headset, yeah.
And how old was you then?
I think it was about 12 or 14.
Wow.
OK. And what was he like?
He was a family man. He was a great man, yeah. He passed away in 1976.
Right.
And then it just ended up on the shelf. Brings up lots of memories of my grandfather. If he would know that this would work again, he would be very pleased as well, yeah.
Thank you for bringing this in. I'm sure we're going to have to get Chris on this as well, aren't we?
I would say so, yeah, don't leave me with the book.
Right. Okay.
Well, thank you for looking at it.
No problem. You take care.
Check.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow.
God, there's a weight.
Yeah.
They picked that up.
They'll know it's not a book.
Crikey.
Once you've got that radio out, could you get the book over to Chris?
Of course I will.
All right.
Indeed. Thanks, NJ. I can't wait to see what this really comprises of. Looking at it, it's obviously a one-off, which makes it even harder. And there will not be any real information available for me to use as a source of reference. So this is going to be quite a tricky one, I think. The vanes on the tuning dial, as that rotates, these vanes should move in and out. And at the moment, this here is not doing the job anymore because the cord is actually broken. So there's that to look at. Large smoothing capacitor acting as part of the power supply. I would automatically change known culprits in electronics, and the capacitors is a well-known culprit for causing difficulties and issues if you don't replace them. We've got to not only ensure that we can get this functioning again, but we've got to have an element of reliability to it. To me, this is like an archaeological dig. I've got to go through layer by layer by layer. It makes it rather exciting. To be able to sort of work it all out and then rebuild it, and to get this back into life again will be quite an achievement.
Outside is Dom, giving a helping hand to Vanessa Taylor from Cornwall. She's hoping silversmith Brenton West can help fulfill a father's wish.
Brenton, look at this. It's right up your street, isn't
Oh,
it?
wow, it certainly is. This is very exciting. I know what this is. It's a bee spinner, isn't it? And Dom has a bit of a dabble with bees. We're both very amateur beekeepers.
Yeah, that's 3 of us. It belonged to my dad, and he used to use it. I remember him using it in the kitchen, and now I'm a beekeeper. I want to use it.
Tell us how it works.
Well, you put the frames into the cage inside.
And this is the frames that have come out of the hive.
Out of the
that have got
hive,
wax
yeah.
and honey, OK.
Yeah, and then turn the handle, and the basket inside spins round, and all the honey spins onto the outside and then drops down into the bottom. And then the tap on this side, you lift up and strain the honey and put it into jars.
Fantastic.
You make it sound so easy.
It is. It's very messy, but it's easy.
With that, see, I don't have one of these, so I'm not. Yeah, I just end up there scraping it, making a right old mess in the kitchen, and just getting in a load of trouble. So, do you actually remember your dad using these?
Yes, my dad was a beekeeper from when I was about 8 years old, and when we were kids, he always had sort of 4 or 5 hives in the garden. And I remember him, he used to use this smoker and the extractor. I mean, he used this up until he gave up beekeeping when he became ill. It was his life, really,
Yeah.
I think. And then when he, when he became ill, it was very, very frustrating for him because he couldn't do it anymore. And it was very, very sad, and because he was in his 80s, he went downhill quite quickly, and eventually passed away. And one of the last things he said to me when he was in hospital was, would I look after his bees for him?
It's nice that his legacy can live on.
This is one of the ways that I keep close to him because, when I'm doing my bees, I always think about him. And when I'm talking to the bees, I often tell them about Dad and what, what Dad had taught me. And you're not to do that because you're not doing it the way that Dad told me you would.
So what is wrong with...
Come on then, let's do, yeah.
What do you need?
I'll tip that up and show you inside. The mechanism is quite rusty
Does look a bit rusty at the top
and
there.
horrible. I have used it, but when I extracted the honey then gets tarnished because it's, I think it's tin or something. The bellows are leaking, it's all falling apart.
Okay.
I think probably it's been pinned and mended so many times that
Okay.
it's...
We can have a look at that and see what...
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah, it's a bit battered, but every time I've got it in my hand, I think of my dad because I think, that's what he would have used, and it's tried and tested and, and loved.
A little bit of your dad in both of these items,
Yes.
isn't there?
Yeah, it just brings him close to me, and it means so much.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what you do with it.
I know. Brilliant.
OK, bye-bye.
See you later. That's great, isn't it?
It's lovely.
I love the smoker, the copper
Absolutely
smoker.
lovely, yeah. Beautiful.
Really good.
This is really nice. I'd really love one of these. I always borrow one, but would love to own a vintage one like this. It's just fantastic and really important that I can get this working for her and she can use it safely like her father used to use it before her. This smoker has been well used. I can see lots of wear and tear on it. It is important that the smoker works because if the bees are a little bit agitated, it just calms them down a little bit. More often than not, we don't smoke our bees when we're going to visit them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this down back to its components, clean the wood up, check the bellows out, make it nice and shiny, stick all the bits back on so that this machine works properly and looks really nice. I'm going to put that to one side. The most important thing is the spinner, and this needs stripping down, and the main parts of the barrel need to go off to be re-tin plated so they're food safe. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take this mechanism off, and I'm hoping this whole lot will lift out.
Across the barn, bookbinder Chris Shaw has uncovered yet more secrets about the book concealing the contraband radio.
I'm flabbergasted. This is totally unique, and I've discovered the actual journals are a series of educational monthly editions, and you can just see the exact volume I've got here at the end there. What a great idea of hiding the radio in a book where there's loads of them, all the same, hidden in plain sight. It's just so ingeniously simple. That's what's so fantastic about it. So the original spine is broken. I mean, you can see it's in two halves. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the spine off so I can just sort of start working out how I'm going to actually mend this. I'm going to start at this edge here and just see what's going to happen.
Vos's grandfather, Anton, he obviously knew his stuff because he's done a remarkably good job to get this to fit in such a small space. All electronic circuitry like this will have a number of capacitors in there, and they are renowned that they will absorb moisture over many, many years, makes them physically break down. So it's prudent to replace them now. Every little movement and every piece of wire being fitted, that's a signature of Anton himself. I'm trying to sort of maintain the essence of what was there originally. Anton is still here within this radio.
The title page is missing quite a chunk there, so I'm going to repair it. And I do have an awful lot of vintage paper that I squirrel away in endless boxes around the house. I'm going to use a very sharp needle, and that's going to give me the shape. And then I'm going to tease the paper apart. And then join it together with some Japanese tissue. So it does really amaze me how a bit of Japanese tissue, a bit of vintage paper, and a bit of wheat paste can sort of mend it, even after all these years.
The tuning dial cord is a thing which regularly breaks due to age. So next task, just remove the old one and to put some new modern nylon on there so I can actually move and tune the radio stations coming in. Well, that's the old wire. So what we're going to do, that's one end, making sure that I don't overlap it so it jams. It's a bit like sewing, and I wasn't very good at that at all. So that's on there, and it returns. That's it. It's really good because if it can't tune in, then it doesn't do anything. A bit of fettling, as we call it, to get it right, and then it'll be working smoothly and perfectly.
Just lining the spine piece up. It's as fiddly as I thought it was going to be, but it has gone into place, which is a relief. I'm just using this sort of heavy-duty spatula to sort of tease the cloth down. I'm pleased with that. And the two boards now are joined together. Starting to feel like a book. So the standard I suppose I'm looking for in this repair is, will this fool me? And I know it would.
Keen to get the ball rolling on the barn's next repair, expert upholsterer Sonnaz Nooranvary.
That can't be the original foam in here. What do you think, Jay?
No.
That definitely needs addressing.
Yeah.
But it's quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, super cool.
Much loved by Nina Tillet, it holds some very special memories.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
So, Nina, this beautiful chair is yours, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's a spinning ball chair. It is really, really cool. Where'd you get this from?
My auntie and uncle had it when I was a child, and I loved it so much that they always said that I was going to be the person to have it.
They must be stylish, because that is a really stylish chair.
They bought it in, I think, in 1973,
Okay.
and it was £250.
73?
Yeah. And at that time, they only earned £30 a week.
Wow.
They walked around Manchester and had, I think, a brandy or two, and then went back and bought it. My auntie moved up north when my uncle died, so she said that's, you know, time for you to have the chair. But anyway.
Were you quite close with your auntie and uncle?
Oh, God, I'm very, very, very close, yeah. My uncle's favourite saying was, me casa, su casa. Just totally relaxed, loved to drink, loved to laugh. They were almost like mum and dad. And my cousins, we spent hours and hours and hours whizzing around in this chair.
Yeah.
All four of us. It's amazing it's still on the base, to be honest with you. It just reminds me of how many hilariously happy moments that we had, and this chair was always part of those moments.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel so connected to the chair, because it just makes me smile.
Thinking of those memories, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So what's prompted you to get this restored now?
I was sat in it and I was just like, come on, Neens, do something about this. It has significantly dropped on this top bit.
And was the chair always looking like this? Because this doesn't look like a 70s fabric.
No, this has been reupholstered in the 80s, but it was also reupholstered in the 70s.
What colour would you want the fabric to be?
I think a petrol blue.
OK.
Apart from the fabric, you've got some patina there that tells a lot of stories about its life.
The marks are probably from messing around in it all those years, but I see the chair as definitely having some new life breathed into it.
And we're smarting up the base?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic, if at all possible.
So kind of get it back looking how it was when they first bought it, then?
That's close to.
That's close.
I'm already trying to upholster it in my mind, but it's going to be in safe hands.
Nina, thank you for bringing this in.
Thank
Right?
you.
I'm going to see you soon.
Yeah,
All
see you
right?
soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care, won't
Bye-bye.
you? Bye.
I'll tell you what, Sonnaz, I do not envy you. This is going to be interesting.
I'm sort of quite looking forward to the challenge.
I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm going to speak to Dom about the shell and also the base. But inside, it's all you. All right?
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, God. I can really see the extent of that curve, just starting to really realise how challenging that is going to be to upholster. Not only have we got this spherical shape, but on this front edge, the fabric's going to need to change direction and come down. So we've got sort of two curves working against each other there. These foams, they need to go. They are crumbling. The only way to pattern this up is by taking all of these wedges out. I've just got to get on with it. Ooh.
With paintbrush in hand, Brenton is aiming to get the honey spinner looking sweet again.
I've managed to get all of these parts off of the drum, and I've sent the drum away for plating. This leaves me with all of the parts that are meant to be green in the mechanism for the honey spinner. The paint has worn off, rusted away. I've cleaned it all up. I've rubbed it down and I've primed it. Before I rubbed it down, I checked with the little bit of colour that was showing, and this is the closest green that I could get to the original paint. I've just given this the first coat of green. I need to let this dry, and then I can give it a second coat, and it'll be lovely and a deep, shiny green, hopefully. I've got Vanessa's dad's smoker, and it's been repaired many times and in many ways. The metal part that holds the bellows material on it is coming away, and it is very slightly leaking out of this, so this needs to be repaired. But before I do that, there's something loose inside these bellows, and I want to get that out. So I've got to be really careful, because these bellows are quite old now, and I don't want to damage the material. I'm going to try and keep this original bellows material and use it again rather than replace it. OK, so what have we got floating about in here? There we go. This bolt that I found inside used to go through that hole and have a nut on it here. This obviously fell off at some stage, and the only way to repair this properly is to put a washer, like this end has got, probably using the original bolt that had fallen inside, and that will make that reattach to the burner. First, I'm going to take this burner off of the wood and give it a really good polish. This is polished up really, really well, really pleased with it. I've checked all the bellows, there's no tears or anything in them. I've now got to reattach this board to the bellows so that they will function again properly. And these were held on initially with staples, and then there's a metal band that is then pinned on around the outside to give it some extra strength and to make it look nicer than just staples around this vinyl. All that's left for me to do now is to put this decorative band back on, and that's held on with some little pins which I've saved when I took it off. I think it's going to look great. I've just raided Will's bench to get some wood shavings, which are really good for bee smokers. And we're going to try Vanessa's smoker and see if my repair of the bellows has made them functional again. That's smoking really nicely now. Shiny, and it's working properly.
It's been a long day, but for upholsterer Sonnaz, there's still work to do. She's just starting to recreate the swivel ball chair's tricky curved cushions.
I'm really trying to wedge that foam into position. These foams need to be really tight in there because the two here, well, all of them, in fact, are self-supporting, so they're not glued in at all, so they need to be wedged in there enough for them to hold their own weight inside that curve. This really has been a bit of a battle. There's still a little element of concern in the back of my mind that once I upholster them, that the shape might not be right. I don't want to feel too confident yet because there's a long way to go.
What an amazing thing.
What do you think?
You know what, I've never really seen one of these. Love it.
What I'm struggling with is I can't upholster these slices flat because as soon as they go in there, I'm going to get that puckering of the
It'll
fabric.
start creasing up because it will get smaller as it folds up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand. But why can't you cover them in there? Just do it
Well, I think it'd be okay on the middle one and the two sides, but as soon as I come up here, it starts getting really difficult.
Gravity is not on your side.
No, and I need to get it right first time when that fabric goes onto that foam.
Right. OK, well, how about then, if I just sort of make a copy, like a mould, take like a fiberglass mould of a section of this, that will hold enough strength that you can actually use that as a little form, work on the bench and lay them in that.
Fabulous.
That's helpful.
Oh, my God, amazing. And what do you think about the actual body of it?
Such a shame, all these scuffs, but a lot of that will come out.
Right.
I can give this whole thing a polish. The base, on the other hand, I need to get inside, take some nuts and bolts off and have a look to see.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The bottom will, I think, need repainting. But I can do that, that's no worries.
Yeah,
yeah? Yeah. I'll get some bits together.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Mark has a little tweaking to do before work on Vos's concealed radio is complete.
Chris has done an amazing job with this book, and it nicely supports and protects the radio. The last thing I've got to do is to actually give it a test. So the first thing I will do is the new leads for the power. This is for the headphones, like that. This is the wire, which will go out. Normally it'll be travelling down the garden to receive stations. That's all that. I'm simulating that with this little localised transmitter. All we've got is a pre-selected frequency being transmitted with audio from my tablet to give me some type of sound. So, and if I put this on here, and it's coming over very well. So I am really chuffed, I am happy. We've now got a working wartime receiver, but it's still a secret.
This radio was a vital but forbidden source of information in the Nazi-occupied Netherlands. Testament to the ingenuity and bravery of Vos's grandfather.
Doing Mark?
Yeah, fine.
So you've got a good clip lined up, yeah?
I have got an amazing clip lined up, and I think Vos will be quite impressed with it.
Yes.
Hello, Vos.
How you doing?
I'm all right, yeah.
Thinking about the radio?
Oh, well, absolutely, yeah. Every day, and I wonder if it was repairable.
And the last time you listened to it was?
I've been working it out. It was over 55 years ago, so that will have been the early 70s, yeah.
You ready?
Yes.
Go on then, Mark.
Gosh. Wow, yeah. It looks fantastic already. It's, yeah, excellent. Wow. Wow.
So we had Chris work on the book for you.
An amazing job.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, you've done a brilliant job, Chris.
Yeah, it does look great.
So one of the big tests is that you want to hear that, don't you?
Well, if we get some sound out of it, that would be remarkable.
So that will go in there. That's the aerial. Headphones, put them in there.
Do they still work? Oh, in Dutch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Dutch Queen. So it's Radio Orange.
Exactly.
Radio Orange. Fantastic. Wow.
Is that all right?
Gosh, that's more than all right. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I didn't expect that. I'm thinking about happy times when I was sitting on my grandfather's lap as a little boy, listening to this radio. And now it is working again. I can't get over it. Wow.
Well, I'm glad I played a small part in its history for you.
Well, a very significant part for the history to continue.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Let's put all the cables into a bag for you.
Thank you very much.
It's been a great pleasure. Nice to meet you again.
Bye-bye.
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 Well, I'm absolutely amazed because I thought they could fix the book, but to get the radio going, I'm just absolutely, bowled over. I think this is a very significant piece of wartime memorabilia, which I would like to think the future generation will treasure.
Work continues apace on the ball chair as Dom prepares to recreate the curved form for Sonnaz to use as a guide.
I am going to be applying the fiberglass directly to it, so I'm using a wax, and that is going to prevent the resins in the fiberglass from sticking and causing any damage to the original frame. Right, I think that'll probably do me. I just need to keep repeating this process. More resin, more fiberglass matting, build up the layers until I've got them all on this ball chair. Lovely. This is looking good. Look at that! That is exactly what Sonnaz needed. Sonnaz!
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you so much.
No worries, good luck with the rest of it.
I'm going to need it, I'm going to need it. Thank you. Having done quite a lot of extensive research into this design of chair, they all used this tweed style of fabric because it really does have a lovely stretch. Even without gluing it on there, you can see how it wants to take that curve without any ruching or puckering. This fabric is my friend. I'm going to glue the fabric to the foam. I spray both sides, wait for them to go tacky, and then commit to the stick. I've got to make sure that I'm putting enough glue on here for it to stick for a lifetime. If this works, I'll be so proud of myself.
So I've got all of the honey spinner equipment back from the tin platers, and it's now food safe, whereas before it wouldn't have been good to have eaten the honey that had come out of this. I've now got to reassemble it and see if I can make it work. And that goes into there. And these come out for cleaning, obviously, because these get covered in honey, so they're a little bit loose in these frames anyway. Right, that's all assembled now. This can go back into the drum. And that is turning, which is really good. Vanessa will be able to use this and she'll have lovely clean honey coming out of it.
Beekeeping was Vanessa's father's great passion. One of his last wishes was that his daughter would continue to care for bees.
Can't wait to see this working, you know.
You'll be amazed.
Okay.
Hello. How are you?
And I'm very well, thank you very much indeed.
How are you feeling?
Quite nervous now, I can see it there. I don't know what to expect. I'm really excited though as well.
Oh.
I hope that I can actually use it now and it'll bring me really back close to my dad and I'll be able to hear his voice in my ear saying, you know, do this, do that. You know, I remember all the things that he used to tell me about the bees when we were younger.
Let's get this back then, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to have it all back. My dad's back again. It's just so... And he left all the dents in, which is lovely. Hope you can see it, Dad. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I can see what it means to you just by you holding it. What do you think your dad would make of it now?
I just think he just would be really, really excited to see it.
Yeah.
And also this is just so special to me.
So the whole point of getting this repaired was so you can use it again?
Yes.
I think you know what to do with this, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I'm going to get really sticky. And then that drops into there. Okay. Do you want to go, Jay?
All right, all right. If you insist.
Here we go. Look at that, look. There we go. So you've now got some honey in there.
Cool. No, that is quality.
Wow, it's lovely, isn't it?
It takes me back to standing next to my dad in the kitchen and he'd have this on the floor and there's newspaper everywhere and he'd be, you know, making a real mess and upsetting Mum. You know, and he'd normally do it on a Sunday when she's trying to cook the lunch, you know, so he always picked his times to do the extracting. But, it definitely takes me back a few years and every time I use it, it'll do the same. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
Vanessa, thank you for bringing this in. I have honey every day, and I've learned so much about this now.
Thank you for bringing it in.
But we'll get this cleaned up and bring it out to you.
OK, lovely.
All right?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right,
okay.
you take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The smoker, I just needed to hold it. It pulled so many different strings in my heart. You know, it just brings me back close to him.
All 5 of the slices of the interior of the chair are finally complete. I'm now on the final throes of what has been an epic, epic task. And I'm just sewing up the seat base because I made a whole new cushion for the chair. That looks perfect, perfect, perfect.
This worn-out retro chair's tatty reupholstery was right out of kilter with its sleek shape.
She's going to love it, Sonnaz.
I hope so.
She's going to love it.
I hope so.
It looks brilliant.
For Nina, the chair is a powerful reminder of happy times spent with her cousins and late Uncle Tim.
Hi,
Hello.
welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Really, really excited. Slightly nervous.
Right.
But a good nervous.
Are you looking forward to having it back as your little nook?
Oh, yeah, definitely. When you sit in it, it's like having a big cuddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we've done Uncle Tim and you proud as well.
Oh, looking forward to seeing it.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, no, wow! Yes! I love it. I literally adore it. It's amazing. Can I sit down in it?
Of course you can.
Oh, oh.
How is it?
Oh, my God, it's brilliant. I don't think I could have asked for more.
Oh.
Honestly.
Is it nice seeing it like this now?
Yeah, I just can't wait to get it home, actually. I think I'm just going to, like, hang out in it for a couple of days.
Yeah. What's the first thing you're going to do in it?
Just take a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully my auntie will come and visit and she can have a sit in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hopefully it'll go on for another 50 years.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing the chair in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, well done.
Well done, Dom.
I'm just trying to imagine my uncle's reaction. He was really, really, really enthusiastic as a person, and he loved life and made me think about him and that I miss him.